Hello, Clara and Felix. Nano found a very funny book today. Gramps said, you shouldn't read that, Nano, but I thought I am going to. It's called The Story of the Little Mole Who Knew It Was None of His Business. I wonder what this is about. One day, the little mole poked his head out of the underground to see whether the sun had already risen. Then it happened. It looked like a little sausage, and the worst thing was that it landed right on his head. "How mean!" cried the little mole. "Who's done this on my head?" But he was so short-sighted he couldn't see anyone around. "Did you do this on my head?" he asked the dove who was flying past. "Me? No, how could I? I do it like this," she answered, and splish split, a moist white blob landed on the ground right next to the little mole. His right leg was splattered in white. "Did you do this on my head?" he asked the horse who was grazing in the pasture. "Me? No, how could I? I do it like this," and flump blump, 5 big fat horsey apples plopped down within a hair's breadth of the mole. He was very impressed. "Did you do this on my head?" he asked the goat, who'd been dreaming a little. "Me? No, how could I? I do it like this," she replied, and ploppity plop, a pile of toffee-coloured little balls tumbled on the grass, and the little mole found them almost appealing. Goodness gracious. "Did you do this on my head?" he asked the cow who was chewing the cud. "Me? No, how could I? I do it like this," and kaplosh! A big brownish green pancake flopped onto the grass just next to the mole. He was very relieved that it hadn't been the cow who'd done something on his head. "Did you do this on my head?" he asked the pig. "Me? No, how could I? I do it like this," replied the pig, and plop splat! A little soft brown pile fell on the grass. The mole held his nose. "Did you do this on my—" He was going to ask again, but as he came closer he saw only 2 big fat black flies, and they were eating. "At last someone who will be able to help me," thought the mole. "Who did this on my head?" he asked excitedly. "Keep nice and still," buzzed the flies. There was a short pause, and then, "It's clear to us it was a dog." Finally, the little mole knew who'd done the business on his head. Basil, the butcher's dog. Quick as a flash, he climbed onto Basil's kennel, and pick! A tiny black sausage landed right on top of the dog's head. Satisfied at last, the little mole disappeared happily into his hole underground. That was a funny book, wasn't it? So, I hope you've had a lovely afternoon, and Nana will try and get Gramps to read another story later. Love you lots. Sleep well again tonight. Very proud of you, Clara.